And welcome back to the One Celtic. Fans. If you, it's a sad one today. Before we get into the video, we obviously want to pay our condolences to Stuart Gray, who played for Celtic, who dies at age 50, just a year younger than me. The Celtic player. Celtic did put out a statement, and we want to send out our condolences to Stuart's family at this time. And we're all thinking of them at this horrible, horrible, horrible time. Anyway, we get on and we get on with the game. There is a game today, Celtic Ross County, and the team is out. The team is out, and it's an interesting team. It is an interesting team. Let me just do this first of all. Let me just catch up with YouTube. It is an interesting team that Brendan Rodgers put out, and there is one player that has been given his chance. He has been given his chance. Alexandro Bernabe. Alexandro Bernabe has been given the shout, which is it a surprise? Is it not a surprise? Tell me what you think. Kaiser is in the house. Kaiser is in the house. Liam is in the house. Not expecting too many to be on. I might be doing a watch along with this game also. We'll see. I'll finish this about 15 minutes before the game goes. But yes, our thoughts and prayers go out to Stuart. It's devastating that someone so young has been taken, and I'm sure he'll get a fantastic turnout. Let's get to the Celtic game. Let's try and cheer ourselves up. It's hard, but life does go on. The starting 11 is Hart, Johnston, and by the way, it's exactly how I called it. Hart, Johnston, Carter, Vickers has came in for Rocky. Big one from Brendan Rodgers. Liam Scales, Alexandro Bernabe, McGregor, O'Reilly, Bernardo, Abada plays from the start at Celtic Park. Louis Palma and Kyogo up front. The bench, Bain, Kuhn, Turnbull, who's still not signed a contract and is a free agent at the end of this season. Ohm, Rocky, Vata, Ralston, Welsh, and Mikey Johnston. So there's no any space for any of the younger players. Mikey Johnston's still in there. Um, Tell me what you think about the team. Tell me what you think about the team. We'll get in some of the comments. Kaiser's first up says, "Hail, hail, legend." Liam says, "Come on, you boys in green." Mark Boy says, "Thoughts and prayers to Stuart's family," and um, we can all say that it's devastating. But there is a game that we need to talk about, and I think we will do a live along, a watch along with the game this afternoon. Tarmac says, "Hail, hail." Joseph says, "Hail, hail, Baz." Here we go. DJ Singy is in the house. Mon the Hoops. Kevin's in the house. Hail, hail, guys. Prime Busters can Baz too. Hail, hail. Come on, you boys in green. Liam's in the house and Mark Boyd is in the house also. We're being linked with Piers Boy. Yeah, that we're being linked with Piers Boy again. And that one's not going to go away until he's decided that the team actually want him. But let's forget about that. We can talk about that later on. Let's talk about the team. Cameron Carter Vickers walks straight back into the team. Rocky's put back down to the bench. Cameron Carter Vickers is the main man who's just signed that new long-term 5.5-year deal. Alistair Johnston, Scales, and Bernabe. A massive game for Bernabe. Who's there on the bench? Who's there on the bench? Well, there is Welsh and there is Tony Ralston. Tony Ralston would obviously get brought on if Bernabe's having a complete nightmare. Ralston will be brought on. I was quite surprised. Well, are you surprised when you look at the team? I thought the young boy Kelly might have got a shout. The young boy Michael Frame, I thought he might have got a shout also. But it's a big one for Vata because as soon as it gets to the 60th minute, and if Kyogo hasn't scored, Kyogo will probably be brought off around about the 65 minute, then it's up to Vata. He needs to do his talking on the pitch today, young Rocco Vata. I think the game's a win all day. Of course, it Liam's. Of course, it's a win all day long. Kieran said he's hinting the game now. Baz win today, and then back to Malone's after it. Cracking pub that, cracking choice. Kaiser says the team looks good. Surprised Brendan has given Bernabe his chance. We march on 4-0 today. The Hoops, I said 4-0 also. Get the German on from the start. Kevin, who do we take out the team? Who do we realistically, when you look at the team, you're either going to have to take off Abada or Palma. Now, Louis Palmer has been scoring goals for Celtic. He's been scoring goals, and his assists have been absolutely fantastic. Um, when you look at it, who do we bring off? Who do we bring off? Tell me that in the comments section, because I don't think it's as easy as playing him from the start. He needs to earn his right through the training, and he is a young one that is 4-0 Rocco Vata. Wonder if he's been from the dot. No matter what, the team must be winning, especially as I say. Who cares about them? Who cares? I don't care about them. I'm not interested in what they do. It's all about Celtic. Just concentrate on Celtic. As long as we keep winning to the end of the season, when it's mathematically impossible for them to take over us, it's a fact. We will win the league. We win every game, we'll win the league. Simple. Anyway, keep Palma on 110%, says Liam. John says, don't take fate, Baz. Don't take fate at all. Mark Boyd says, Abada to score today. I'm betting on it. On my betting slip, says Mark Boyd. I would get that one on. Brian, he's set up a location. Give me 2 minutes to look at this. Yeah, Brian, I've got that. But I am on YouTube just now, Brian, so and I'll get back to you. Abada to score all day long. Do you think Abada? I think Abada will score today, and I think he'll get an absolutely fantastic reception from the Celtic fans when he puts one in the back of the net today. Right, if you haven't noticed, also, if you look up here, you'll see the subscriber count has went up to 14,813. It was a fantastic amount. So this number here, we want to try and get that to the big 15,000 before Valentine's Day. So if you haven't subscribed, you need to be subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you do. Let me just see this. Why is this not showing comments? That's all right. Go back to this. Anyway, result bringing big CCV singing defence wasn't too bad, says Charles. Mark Boy said, I was thinking that also, mate. Abada scores today on my betting slip. Looking forward to seeing Kun, hopefully Kun. Nicholas Kun, will he come on? Will he come on? Here's a thought for you. Nah, he has to bring Vata on. He's brought Vata into the pitch. You can't bring the German in and then play him through the middle and take Kyogo off. That for Vata would just go, look, what's the point in me signing this new contract, boss? What's the point of me signing this new contract? You never know. Who else do you think would get on today? I mean, as long as Bernardo and O'Reilly, they're going to do what they do in the middle of the field. I think if there's going to be a change, it might be a Bada and maybe Palma and Kyogo. That's the three players, the three front players. You're not going to get a change in the midfield. McGregor, O'Reilly, Bernardo. Maybe Bernardo, if he scored, done one of his usuals, he might get brought on. Does Turnbull get a game? Would you play Turnbull at all? Turnbull that hasn't signed the new contract at Celtic, would you even bring him on? Or is it all about the future? Is it all about Rocco Vata? Vata in second half, he scores also. Get that on your betting slip, says Mark Boyd. If we had more signings, I wouldn't be so worried. Christopher, why are you worried? Right, let's look at the team again, Christopher. When you look at the team, is this not a strong bench for you? It's probably one of the strongest benches we've had all season. When you look at the starting lineup, got to remember the players that we've got missing just now. So you've got players that are away playing in the Asia Cup. When you look at it, Hart, Alistair Johnson, Carter Vickers, Scales, Burnaby, McGregor, O'Reilly, Bernardo, Abada, Palma, and Kyogo. Right? On the bench, we've got Scott Bain, who's always on the bench. You've then got Nicholas Kuhn. You've got David Turnbull. You've got Ohm. You've got Rocky. You've got Vata, Ralston, Welsh, and Mikey Johnston. Where in this team does Rio Hatate fit in? Dyson Maida. Just to name two players. O would be on the bench also. We've got a good squad. People need to stop going on about the transfer window and bringing in new players. Look, it's time to get back being positive about this team can win the league. This team will win the league. It's not a case of if, it's this team will win the league. Hope I'm not eating my cornflakes tomorrow with soggy. Anyway, if Turnbull doesn't sign a new contract, he can go for me. Mark, I said that as well. If Turnbull's not going to sign a new contract, I would get him out the door. Kaiser says, he says that if there's a chance of selling Turnbull, I will play him, but that's not on the cards. He doesn't make the team again if he leaves in the summer. If he doesn't, if he would you bring him on? You know what David Turnbull can do. He showed at the beginning of the season what he can do. He can he can score goals from that midfield, but so can Paulo Bernardo. So can Paulo Bernardo, and he is the future of the club. You know, it's all good having him on the bench. I would say that Brendan Rodgers only has Turnbull on the bench due to the fact that Rio Hatate is in playing with the Asia Cup. Would you, Ohm bringing him on? I don't think he's a more forward attacking player. I think he sort of plays more. We really need someone that's going to allow Callum McGregor to go further forward. But then, when do you really need that? Because you've got Matt O'Reilly and Paulo Bernardo in the sort of up the front end of the pitch doing it for you. When you look at it, it's the strongest team that we've got. He's played the strongest team today. Hat off to Brendan Rodgers. He's picked the strongest team. Nicholas Kuhn will probably get a little bit of minutes towards the end of the game. You'll probably find that Nico will come on with maybe about 5 minutes to go, or probably about the 88th minute or something crazy like that. He will be brought on around about that time. Let me just double check this. Also, right, let me see if there's any other Celtic. Brendan Rodgers named Celtic lineup against Ross County. Kuhn on the bench. Celtic confirmed. And then there's going to be a lot of people, obviously. Stuart Gray died with a short battle with cancer, which is hate cancer. Hate cancer. Right, let's get back to it. Bernabei. Bernabei to start. Does Bernabei take his big chance today? Does Bernabei take his big chance and prove us all wrong? Does Bernabei take his big chance and prove us all wrong? And then Greg Taylor struggles to get back into the team. The thing is, who's talking about Kuhn? Yeah, Kuhn can play. He can play in the left, the right, and through the middle. So he's such a versatile player that he's a fantastic player to have on the bench. So if anyone's having a bad day, you've got him to watch in the background. Anyway, Big Dom says Vata is our new striker. We're unlikely to sign a new forward. We'll wait and see until we'll talk about it once the window's ended. They can all add to the speculation. Brendan Rodgers has said that Celtic are still working on things in the background, and if they can be brought over the line, they will do. Whether that's been a successful window or not, it's 2, 6, and 3, half a dozen of whatever. Anyway, Turnbull lacks bite and doesn't fight for the team. Elegant, but a luxury player, says David. I probably not sure I agree with that one. I'm actually, if you're on in social media, share this. Share. I believe in a time called love. I'm actually going to get a share tune, and when I say share, I'm going to have that in the background. Oh, joking. Breaking news. Nonsense. Nonsense. It's not breaking news at all. There's no such thing as breaking news. I'm just trying to see if there is any decent speculation going about. I'll just click here and transfer. Fabrizio Romano, Celtic target, can leave the club in January. So this is the one talking about Van Hooijdonk again. Fabrizio Romano has come out today and said Sidney Van Hooijdonk could leave Bologna in the final days of the transfer window. A loan move is possible for the striker. Bologna have signed Santiago Castro as a new striker. And it looks like Van Hooijdonk could leave. Well, you know what's going to happen there. Celtic are going to step in and offer him a loan deal. So don't. It's Celtic all over, isn't it? It's Celtic all over. They're going to go in and they're going to bring in Van Hooijdonk in on loan until the end of the season. What is that? I would rather just play Vata. I'm being serious. I would rather Rocco Vata got his chance. I would rather than bringing somebody in on loan till the end of the season as a striker. I would just let Vata play. It looks like it's just a loan. It's just like it's just a loan. I'm gonna go back onto it. Fabrizio Romano. Yeah, it looks like a loan move is now possible for the striker. So that's for Fabrizio Romano, the transfer guru, the Italian transfer guru, has come out on his Twitter and said Sidney Van Hooijdonk could leave Bologna in the final days of the transfer window. A loan move is possible for the striker. Bologna have signed another striker, which means that he could be open to a move away from his parent club. Anyway, we digress. I could see Celtic bringing him in all day long, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Would you prefer? Tell me this in the comments. Um, would you prefer to bring in a striker on loan, or would you prefer Rocco Vata to be given his chance as the backup striker until the end of the season? Now, remember, Rocco Vata is not going to cost you any money. He's a player that's came through the youth system at Celtic, which we promote and push all the time on this channel. And we say that if they're good enough, the youth let them have their chance. Bringing in another striker of a temperament that has fallen out with his club, who doesn't have the right mindset to knuckle down and play for the club, seemingly, because let's face it, he's been he's been out the team all this season. For me, just keep Rocco Vata as the new striker. Anyway, caller on Clyde claims Shankland will sign before the deadline day. Do you think so? Will Celtic pay the money? I don't know. Vata. Christopher says it's all going very quiet on Shankland and Mavovsky. Being honest, I don't think that those are two players that are going to improve us in Europe. When it comes to us signing a striker, you either want to short term promote someone in within your youth system to come in and progress as a player. Bringing in Vata is the type of progression that you could do that. Changing him from a winger to a striker could be one of those moments in his career that's a kind of light bulb moment, and it makes him crack on. Bringing in someone like Van Hooijdonk, personally, the fact that his dad's got a lot to do with it. His dad's his agent. His dad left Celtic under a cloud. His dad was just as disruptive as a player in the dressing room, and it seems that the axe hasn't fallen too far from the tree, or the branches haven't fallen too far from the tree. Vata needs to give him his chance as a centre forward, says Big Dom. Charles says if Vata can step up, then another day it's it is that. St Mirren, Oliver Sevco just can't score their push. Who cares? All I know is when I look at the league, it shows them as winning. Let's hope St Mirren can do something in the final minutes of the game. I don't know how far are they into the game. It's a big day for Burnaby, and I'm not even going to look at it. Talking about Celtic, we're talking about Celtic here. Talking about Celtic and the fact that Welsh is on the bench. Welsh is on the bench after him getting taken off during the Rangers game. Mikey Johnson's still on the bench. Mikey Johnson's on the bench. Will it be his days are numbered at Celtic? Will he leave this transfer window? Has anybody even inquired about Mikey Johnson? Or is it the fact that Mikey Johnson will still be a Celtic player after the window closes and until the end of the season? Turnbull. No comment when it comes to Turnbull. Bain is just your steady number 2. Bologna move. Celtic defender set for exit is one that came out earlier. Let me just see this. It's a transfer hit. It's the Kobayashi one. Jesus, I covered that yesterday. Keep up. Keep up. Jesus. Anyway, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Bologna, green light, loan move for Cindy Van Hooijdonk. A lot of the Celtic blogs are going to run with the Bologna green light to move to Celtic. One, for me, I'm not too sure about it. I'm not too sure about it at all. Is he better? Is he seriously better than Shankland? Is he better than Mavovsky up in Aberdeen? You're going to bring someone in that is disruptive. What do I know? What do I know? Mikey isn't for sale, says something today. I'm not saying that he's for sale, but he's Mikey Johnson's his contract's up at the end of the season. Has has Brendan Rodgers said that St. Mirren just brought Quan on? How is Quan playing? All right, I'm going to put the telly on. Put the TV on. Can't believe I'm going to sit and talk about Celtic and watch that nonsense. Let me just get this live football Scottish. What the Scottish football? English. Oh, Premier League, La Liga, EPL, 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 Scottish Premier teams. Scottish Premier teams. And they'll be away from home, so it'll be St Mirren. There we go. Let's see this nonsense then, since everyone's got. They're only winning one now. Come on, St Mirren. Anyway, let's move on for them. It ends the transfer window. Kieran says ends the 31st of January at 11:59 p.m. As a coverage of the transfer window, their coverage of the transfer window. So biased. Jeffrey says the teams always kick on when they see the finishing line. Um, yep. Kwon is even the best midfielder at St Mirren. What does that say about him? Anyway, I don't know why I'm watching them because every time I watch them, I've never watched them. I've never watched them in years. St Mirren should have scored there, did they? Talking about them, there's 87 people watching. There's not going to be many online today because Wednesday night, 12 o'clock, mate. Wednesday night. Well, we're staying up. Nah, I'm not staying up because Celtic aren't going to sign anyone on the evening of deadline day. St Mirren just hit the post twice. Well, that's bloody typical, isn't it? Hitting the post is no good. Anyway, let's get on to some more Celtic news. You can sit and watch what you want. Bologna Green Lights, Newcastle United, the Sheffield Gazette, and then it's just everyone talking about the Liel Abada situation. The Liel Abada situation, where Liel Abada is a player that is playing today. No matter what people say in Scotland, he is not for sale. And the fact that Brendan Rodgers wants to make sure he's an integral part of the team. He is an integral part of the team, and he's a player that will be at Celtic long after this window closes and after the next window closes, because Brendan Rodgers has said, look, he is not for sale. And I'm just watching the replay of that one off the post. I've got to say, they are absolutely garbage. How teams aren't taking points off them, I will never, never know. Right, Sevco have been dominated by the buddies waiting for the penalty, the penalty. But as every time I put the radio on, Sevco's score, so I stay off it. Joseph, I never watched them, but I'm watching some highlights just now. Do you think Jota will land England? That'd be good to watch them play again. Yeah, looks like West Ham. West Ham are in talks with Jota, well, not Jota himself, but Jota's representatives to see. It came off the crossbar. That would have been a cracking goal to. In watching their game, wireless old school. Lol. Yeah, Kyogo is due a goal. Kyogo is due a goal. And I'm going to turn this over because what is this? This little score, I don't know. Kyogo is due a goal. I think it's going to be 4-0 today. Who do I think will score? I think Kyogo, Abada, O'Reilly, and Paulo Bernardo will score today. That'll be your four players that score today. Um, you ever just get the feeling that if they were to come up against a really good team, they would get absolutely done in. Absolutely done in. 311 views so far. Keel, what is your goal? John is just home from work. What's today's team? John, just for you, a recap on the team. It is Hart, Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter Vickers, who comes back straight into the team. He's not even going to get brought into the team gently. Big Rocky drops back down to the bench. Cameron Carter Vickers is in the playing first up. And then you've got Liam Scales, Bernaby, McGregor, O'Reilly, Bernardo, Abada, Palmer, Kyogo. And then you've got Bain, Kuhn, Turnbull, Ohm, Rocky, Vata, Ralston, Welsh, and Mikey Johnston on the bench. On the bench for that one. And you've got to say that I'm watching a bit of this game, and it's lucky just to be 1-1, 1-0. It is lucky to be 1-0. This is the game that you want them to drop points, but it doesn't look as if it's going to harm. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes of extra time is added to this game. Got to say that the away fans aren't looking too confident, but I'm sure they'll burst into a rapturous roar when they finally do win. Hail, hail, Baz, that should be us, Celtic. Hail, hail. Cheers, mate. No worries, John. How was work today? Anyway, just gave it work today. I'll give him a message later. Jeff Ray says, thinking 6-0 easy today. 6-0 easy today. John Shirley, Baz, great to see you being back to live chat. I couldn't get my comments on. Keep it this way. Okay. Done and dusted, sir. Done and dusted. Yeah, we will be live in the chat. I might even be doing a watch along so you can sit and watch this game with me today. Obviously, we won't be watching it, but I might have the commentary turned up just a little bit so you can maybe hear a bit of it. They've just scored with the only shot on target. They scored with their only shot on target. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Um, anyway, let's jump on to this till I get just a little update. Google. I'm not even going to watch them. I don't. I don't like watching them. Yep, Kev was there, nice and dry today. Good. I see he was moaning the other day about the noise at the work. 3 minutes, only 3 minutes of injury time. Well, there's a surprise. There is a surprise, and they won't. They're not going to lose. They're not going to drop points either. I've got to admit the footage that I'm seeing, Saint Mirren St. St. Mirren have been good. Anyway, let's get back to some Celtic news. What other Celtic news is kicking about? Obviously, we started off the video with condolences to former Celtic midfielder Stuart Gray, who's died at 50-year-old. And Celtic put out a statement saying that the club has paid its condolences to Stuart and his family, and the club will wear black armbands today as a mark of respect for the ex-Celtic player. You've got to remember, Stuart was a fantastic player during the troubled years of the 1990s. He was pivotal part of the one and only Tommy Burns' team. He was a pivotal part of Tommy Burns' team back in the day. And anyway, that's unfortunate that cancer's took its toll on another person. Baz, are you streaming? Can we get VAR on the game? Uh, yeah, I think we will stream the game today. We'll try and get some Saint managers just been booked. Some today says he had Saint Mirren to draw. Well, I think it's all over now, isn't it? It's not going to be a draw. That's for certainty. It's all done and dusted. 94 minutes, and it is still 1-0 to them. So that's it. Who cares? Who cares? Look, when it comes to it, Celtic need to still go on and crack on and just win our games. Just win our games. Right, there's news coming out of Brøndby. There's news coming out of Brøndby as well today that Matthias Kidsford Mystery sends transfer sleuths into overdrive. Hmm. Kidsford Garden might be on his way. Will Celtic pay the money? Celtic made an offer in the summer for Kidsford Garden for just over 4 million. That was rejected in the summer, but it appears Brondby have been unmoved. They were declaring that they won't sell the 21-year-old in the January window. However, fans have pushed the panic button out as they fail to turn out unconvincing. Um, still sneezing. Will he be sold? I don't think so. I don't think so. And there's no way that Celtic are going to spend the kind of money that they're wanting now. I don't know what Van Hooijdonk is worth. Van Hooijdonk, if Celtic go for Van Hooijdonk, it'd be because he's the cheaper option. That's the only reason that you can think that he will go for Van Hooijdonk. Because let's face it, and the big news today, the massive news that we haven't spoken about, Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor has now played 450 appearances for Celtic. Today will be his 450th game. Now you've got to remember that there was a lot of people. I got that one wrong. I thought his last one. When you look at it, Callum McGregor playing 450 games for Celtic is an absolutely fantastic achievement. It's a massive achievement for a player that's came through the youth system, for a player that, he's like me and you. He loves the Celtic too. He oozes everything Celtic. Could Callum McGregor be the next Tommy Burns in the future? He could be that one team man that's always in and around Celtic. Could he be that kind of person? No crazy predictions, please. Then we drop points. Says 1888 CFC. Jeff Ray says they won't beat us, not a chance. Take it to the bank, make a fortune of Kyogo to score. Celtic to win. No cost of living crisis when Kyogo is in the building. There isn't a cost of living crisis when Kyogo is in the building because we score and we score goals good. Now let's jump over to Celtic TV and see what's happening on Celtic TV because that will have started. It's not found yet. Celtic Classic matches, Liverpool 0, Celtic 2 on the 20th of March. That was the Europa. That was in the Europa. Remember that? Celtic 2, Liverpool 0. Big John Hartson scores a screamer that day, doesn't he? Big Johnny Hartson. Was it not Alan Thompson scored the other one? Can't remember. A long time ago. 21 years ago. Stan Petrov's just went down. And I think this might be the bit where the one of the goals. 5-0 today. And it's one from Larson. And Larson, the keeper, saves it and puts it out for a throw with that one. Something today says, JB says 5-0 today. Pure Celtic legend. That was a cracker by Henrik Larsson. You forget how good Henrik actually was. It's such a long time ago that we used to watch him play. That's up a bit. So a little bit of volume. Paul Lambert. And it was good to see. If you haven't done the poll, I done a poll on the community tab section, and it was an interesting one. And it came from the live, yes, that live the other evening, where I did ask the question: where what player would play in your midfield? You have got two choices of two players to play in midfield, and this is the choices you have. It was Paul McStay, Paul Lambert, Neil Lennon, and Scott Brown, and you only had two positions. And as it stands, Paul Lambert is a way out in front. Let me just check it again, though. Open my new window. Going to have to open my new screen. Let's just see it, and I'll just double check. But Paul Lambert was a way ahead out in front, which was it was interesting. But you've got to remember, Paul Lambert had won the Champions League before he came to Celtic. So yeah, he's still Paul McStay. Paul McStay's away out in front. My apologies. I thought it was Lambert. Paul McStay's away out in front with 56% of the votes. Then Scott Brown. So people are saying that they would love to have had Paul McStay in the team and Scott Brown in the same midfield together. That'd have been an interesting one. Scott Brown comes in with 24% of the votes. There has been over 1,000 votes. Paul Lambert's come in at 16%. And Neil Lennon comes in last at 4. 4% of the people that voted want Neil Lennon in their team. But the majority, over 56%, have voted and said that they wanted Paul McStay in the team. And then it is Scott Brown who's way in front of Paul Lambert. So that's an interesting one. It is an interesting one to see just what you think about players of bygone days. Because let's face it, when we were younger, bygone days were the 70s. We used to speak about players of the 70s and you know, we now can talk about the Seville years, and the Seville years to a lot of younger viewers is our 60s and Jock Stein days and things like that. I'm just watching one where Hartson puts it past the post. Hartson puts an absolute cracker past the post for that game. I'm sure he scores that game. Anyway, that was brilliant time for Celtic to beat Liverpool. And during that run to Seville, there's Big Bobo. No, it's not. It's Silla, Mohamed Silla, isn't it? Yeah, it's Mohamed Silla. Mohamed Silla, remember him? He was the worst player in that team. Madness. Absolute madness. Fantastic time to be a Celtic fan. You just knew. I can remember thinking back to that run. That run, and I knew that if we could avoid Porto, Porto was the only team at that time that I feared because they'd been playing so well in the competition. I didn't fear any of the English teams at that time. We had rotten players that had played in the English Premier League. I just knew that Martin O'Neill had a thing about wanting to prove. There it is. So one by Alan Thompson. Go on, Tomo. Get in there. That's the Tomo that's just scored against Liverpool. What a cracker. Absolutely screamer. Henrik Larsson makes the dummy. Tomo kicks it right through the wall, right into the left-hand corner. Number 8 steps up, does it again. The wall doesn't do its job. Celtic are then 2-0 up at this point, and that's it. We're going through to the next round of the Europa. Who was up next? Tell me in the comments. Who did we play? Who did we play after Liverpool to progress in the European Cup that year? Tell me that in the comments. Henrik Larsson was so unlucky that day. So unlucky. So unlucky not to score a goal. Our defence was solid at that time. When you look at it, big Bobo Baldi and Valharan at the back. It was some team. It was some team. Do you think that people will talk about that team with the same kind of love that people might talk about the team that done 9 in a row? Do you think history will be nice to the team that won 9 in a row? Do you think it'll be kind? Or will our run to the second 9 in a row always be tainted by the fact that Neil Lennon and the COVID year and we couldn't do it? It was Blackburn. You knew it. 1888 CFC, it was Blackburn. And who was the manager of Blackburn? It was the ex-Sevco manager. Not Celta Vigo was after Blackburn. Celta Vigo was it? No, you're getting me confused. I thought it was Liverpool, Blackburn, then Celta Vigo. Then Celta Vigo, was it not? Anyway, back in the day when we played 3-5-2 formation. Yes, it was back in the day when we played 3-5-2 formation. It was that. Stevie G couldn't do it, eh? You've got a habit of making Stevie G slip up, eh? But then he won the league against the Celtic. He won a league against Celtic. And then he went on to do absolutely nothing. Souness, yes. And remember making Souness shut up. Anyway, John Shirley says, Baz, the buddies gave them a good go. Can I see that? Men against boys that game. Yeah, it was. It's men against boys. Anyway, that was on the 20th of March 2003. I thought it was Blackburn as well. I thought it was Liverpool Blackburn that we played. And there's the one from John Hartson. Absolute screamer. John Hartson scores the goal that puts us through. Cracking goal. Celtic running. John Hartson runs towards the Celtic fans. Jumps into the crowd. Doesn't get booked. Absolute cracker. Henrik Larsson just tees it off to Hartson. Hartson goes past one player. Goes past two players. Takes a shot. Boom. Curving ball into the top corner. game over. Stick it right up your pipe and smoke it. Yeah, we beat Blackburn 3-0 on aggravate after a little bit. Yeah, I knew it was Blackburn. I knew it was Blackburn. Remember those days well. Yeah, because um, at the time they had Souness as manager, and Souness was desperate, absolutely desperate. You got to remember, Souness at that time took his Blackburn team to Ibrox to train Ibrox and everything to try and make sure that they beat us. And we put him back in his place. Anyway, let me get back to some of the comments. The buddies gave the Govan Buns a game. Anyway, welcome to Celtic TV, it's now saying. Perfect. There is 105 people watching. I'm probably going to cut this one short around about 1:45. And then, if you're up for it, we'll do a little watch along live. We'll do a live just watching the game because I was going to go to the pub, but I'm not going to bother today. Don't think I'll bother going to the pub today. And but the team, the team will be out warming up as Celtic team starts. You've got Hart, Alistair Johnson, Carter Vickers, Scales, Bernaby, McGregor, O'Reilly, Bernardo, Abada, Palmer, and Kyogo all playing today with Scott Bain on the pitch. Nico Kuhn, Turnbull, Ohm, Rocky, Vata, Ralston, Welsh, and Mikey Johnson. You've got to remember that O is at the Asia Cup. Dyson Maida is at the Asia Cup. Rio Hitati is at the Asia Cup, and as is Marco, who am I missing? Who am I missing? There's someone else away, isn't there? Marco is away at the Asia Cup also. What does it say for Marco Tillio? What does it say for Marco Tillio? I mean, a lot of people are going on about this team. I mean, when you look at the bench, you've got Mikey Johnson that can come on for a wide player. You've then still got Rocco Vata that can come on and play wide. And you've got Nico Kuhn who can come on and play wide. Where does Marco Tillio fit into this team? Does Marco just get loaned out back to somewhere down in Australia just to give him some game time? Tell me what you think in the comments. Anyway, make sure that you give the video a thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, troops. Celtic v Porto. Remember that game? No, I don't want to remember that game. Yang, that's who I'm forgetting about. Yeah, Yang's away also. God, where the hell does Yang fit into the team? He's a winger as well. Ah, where does Yang fit into the team? We've got all these players. What is the draw for the Asia Cup next round? No idea. DJ Love says, love it. Hopefully, we'll see set us up nice for tonight. Hopefully. Paulo Bernardo. And then Celtic are now showing highlights of the game. The game on the 30th of December. Where Kyogo that day. Goal. Screamer. Absolute screamer. Absolute screamer. Anyway, Baz, how you doing? Gives a job in the warm weather. No bad here at Parkhead today. I'll be honest with you, George, I wish I was at Parkhead today. Yeah, the sun's shining. I'm just seeing the video pictures coming through. The sun is shining at Celtic Park. Everybody got their hats on and their big jumpers. I would be absolutely freezing because I'm kicking about in a t-shirt and it's about 20 degrees here today. And I would love to be back at Celtic Park, and I'm sure I'll be back at Celtic Park before the end of this season. Looking at the stadium just now, it's just came live on Celtic TV. The Green Brigade section is starting to fill up nicely. There are people starting to get into the stadium. Remember, we are still just about 25 minutes away from kickoff. The teams are out on the pitch. Let me just see. Stuart Gray. Peter Grant, who was obviously in that team with Stuart Gray. Peter Grant's just talking about Stuart and the fact that Stuart was younger than him. He was a fantastic lad, a fantastic player. Played in the same team as George Cadet. Had a great level of, he had a cracking left foot and he scored a cracking goal there. Hell, that t-shirt yeah, I had the lighting was all wrong. I don't know what I was doing with it earlier. And anyway, Simon Donnelly was still close friends with him. Peter Grant was saying so. The club and everyone that played with them at that time knew that he wasn't well. Now they've just put up a thing on Celtic TV. Rest in peace, Stuart. 1973 to 2024. Right, talk about the game today, Celtic. Let's get on with it. Um, and there we go. The Green Brigade have got their usual non-Irish flag out right at the end. Botislava who won one home and then we won away 1-0. Yes, we did that. Japan versus Bahrain and the Saudis versus South Korea. So the Celtic contingent is Australia still in the next round. Anyway, right. What time is it? 37. Bernabe were looking to make a comeback. Right, I am going to cut this one short. Join me back in around about 10 minutes' time, 5 minutes before kickoff. Maybe, yeah, just about 10 minutes' time. 10 minutes before kickoff, we will start the live. We'll do Celtic Ross County watch along live on the One Celtic Fans View channel. So make sure that you do subscribe for that one. So I'll see you in just a couple of minutes.